Welcome to Daily Devo. I'm Pat. Today we're going to talk about feet. We've probably all been in one of those awkward situations or uncomfortable situations. Maybe someone says something or does something that leads to a long, awkward silence. Or perhaps something is done or said that causes everyone to nervously look around. I imagine it was maybe like that during the meal Jesus shared with his closest followers, the last night of his life. It wasn't just any meal. It was one of the most significant meals the Jews would share, the Passover. The Jewish people had been celebrating this for 1,500 years as a way to remember how God had delivered them from Egypt. Jesus and his disciples had most certainly celebrated the dinner every year of their lives. But on this night, during this momentous meal, there would be several awkward and significant moments. One of the first of those is found in John chapter 13. Let me read to you John 13, verses 4 through 5. It says, "So he," meaning Jesus, "got up from the table, took off his robe, wrapped a towel around his waist, and poured water into a basin. Then he began to wash their feet, the disciples' feet, drying them with the towel he had around him." Now, this was a cultural thing at that time because they had open-toed shoes and there weren't paved roads. You would often have a servant wash the feet of your guests. But someone like Jesus, a great rabbi, would never do this. This was the job of a servant. And now you have a great rabbi, Jesus, get down on his knees to wash feet. In fact, if you read the next verses, you'll see that it was such an awkward, uncomfortable moment that Peter argues with Jesus about it. But after Jesus has this little debate with Peter, and Peter says, "Okay, go ahead and wash my feet," look what happens in verse 12. "After washing their feet, he put on his robe again and sat down and asked, 'Do you understand what I was doing? Do as I have done.'" Now, I don't think that the full weight and significance of what Jesus was saying hit them at that moment because they don't really understand yet that Judas is going to be the one that's going to betray Jesus. They don't understand that the next day he's going to be nailed to that Roman form of torture called the cross, that way of death called the cross. They don't understand any of that. But I wonder if 24 or 48 hours later, the weight of Jesus' words hit them. Can you imagine later when they close their eyes and they picture Jesus cradling the feet of Judas and washing them? I wonder if the enormity of his words, "Love as I have loved, do as I have done." Listen, I get it that you have people in your life that are really hard to get along with. I have people in my life that are really hard to get along with. And what Jesus has called us to do is to love them. And so maybe today you're going to interact with some of those people. And I would encourage you, before you meet with them, to maybe pause and pray. And as you pray, would you remember this picture of Jesus cradling these dirty feet of Judas in his hands, knowing that he would betray him. Do as I have done. Love as I have loved.